G'day, Doc.
Yeah, hi.
It's Michael Persh from Adelaide. How you doing?
I'm good, thanks.
Great to talk to you. Kat set me up to have a chat with you.
That's right.
Sweet. You all sweet to go?
Yep, sure.
All right, mate. First up, it is a great pleasure to have a talk to you. Been an Angels fan forever, so it is a year in, I guess, mate, since you've been back with the band. And how does it feel from where you were this time a year ago?
Well, it's I guess I feel relieved that a lot of the tension has gone from, the kind of antagonism between the other band and my own band, the two Angel bands that were out there. And being on stage with the guys is great. It means the band is playing really well.
I've seen you a few times in the last year, and I guess the overriding thing that sort of I feel by watching you guys is you're having a ball playing together again.
Yeah, it's pretty much it. Everyone's, it's a good band, and really from the time we started to now, everybody's really just got better.
It's one thing that strikes me in situations like this, when a band comes back together like you guys have, there'll be a lot of hype and a lot of excitement in the initial sort of kaboom of when it happens. But the Angels have kept that momentum going for the last year. It's really been you've planned it really well. The different things you've done and the different ways you've presented yourself in the last year has really worked well.
It has gone well, and we've had great responses from our audiences, which has been quite a buzz in itself. I mean, it was a bit of a gamble getting back together again like this after all, after all these years, and the hassles that were aired in the press and all that kind of thing. But we've just found our fans to be really remarkably loyal and enthusiastic. It's not the odd thing that I experience being on stage is it's almost as though there was never a break, and we're still carrying on as the band that was, and now we're just on a national Australia tour, and we're coming into Adelaide, as you know. It's that, and I find it peculiar to think that it feels like there wasn't a break.
Yeah. Is it also the case in the last year that you've still been able to do your solo thing, and Rick and John have still done the Brewster Brothers thing, and Buzz and Chris have still done work with Gangagang, that you've been able to get out from the Angels and sort of, the excitement's there when you come back again?
Yeah, I think it's a fair point. Certainly some of my frustration had been, I write a lot of songs, and just having to only have the Angels as an outlet for that was pretty frustrating at times. So I think being able to have the Angels and individual projects has probably made it easier for everyone.
Yeah. Well, as you mentioned before, the Angels by Request is rolling around the country, and I had a look at the website yesterday. There's some interesting tunes being up there. Are you keeping an eye on it?
I haven't lately. Tell me what you've seen.
Oh, it was just interesting yesterday. I noticed that a couple of tunes from Beyond Salvation have popped up. Let the Night Roll On and Backstreet Pickup, which I thought was really good.
They've always been good favourites ever since that album came out. So I'm glad that I'm glad we're going to get the chance to play them.
In hindsight, how do you look back on that LP? From a fan's point of view, I thought the sound of that LP that Terry Manning got from that, and just the combination of Bobby Spencer and Rick Brewster just worked so well. That album was on fire, in my opinion.
Yeah, that one really cooked. And as well as that, when you go, off to a place like Memphis, in fact, Memphis, probably more so than almost any other city I could think of in the States. Going back to the jug band days, a lot of our blues roots actually came from Memphis. And then at night times when we were finished in the studio, because the Terry Manning was well known around Memphis, we'd go out jamming with other bar bands that were around the place. And, I call them bar bands, and people might just think that I'm being dismissive, but those guys are red hot players, and it was an honor to be able to get up on stage with them, or that they would allow us to do the time to do a set to an American audience, us doing a combination of a few Angel songs and then some blues, and Terry Manning is quite a strong Elvis Presley fan, so we found ourselves dropping into a bit of jailhouse rock here and there, and it was a very musical kind of tour.
Yeah, and as I said, that really showed up in my opinion with the LP. The sound of it and the enthusiasm was just a step above lots of the other Angels LPs.
Yeah, well, I think there just was a lot of enthusiasm for being a musician, if nothing else, which was brought out in Memphis.
Yeah. You mentioned the jug band then, mate, and I did notice that Rick and John, when they toured earlier on in the year with the Brewster brothers, threw in a bit of a set with their jug band material. Are you keen to look at that again?
Yes, I am.
Because I saw you guys. I think you guys got back together and did that in Adelaide about 1990, and it was a fantastic night. I remember it well. It was a lot of fun.
Well, it's great music. It's just great, great toe tapping music. But it's the rhythms of those songs, and it's kind of light-hearted. It just, I don't know, that people just sort of get very happy.
Well, it is happy music, and it's, as you said, it stood the test of time. But it also does, you can't go and listen to music like that and not have a good time.
No, and the other thing is that I'll say were, because it's not really happening in any major current sense, but Moonshine was one of the best authentic jug bands ever, and I'll include American jug bands in that, because we listened to the original records, we got all that down to a certain extent. We were purists, and then we let go of that and just had fun with it. And it was a really good lineup as far as jug instruments go. If you wanted a jug band, you'd look far and wide to find a better band than Moonshine.
I totally agree. As I said, it was. I remember the show well from many years ago. It was a great night indeed. We're here to talk about the Angels by request, and I guess as I said, I had a bit of a look at the website, and a lot of it was the things I would expect to pop up there. Have you had anything sort of come past you that was really left of centre that made you think, wow, I'd forgotten about that tune?
No, not really. Not from what I've seen. I think the set that we picked when we had our first reunion, we read our audience very well, and so
Yeah, that may be a bit of a challenge indeed. Well, the two songs that would be on my wish list that are a little bit obscure are Into the Heat, and actually the B-side of that, Back on You, is one of my favourite tunes.
I really like Back on You as well.
Which popped up on Liveline, didn't it?
Yep.
And I first saw you guys play that live with AC/DC in the news a lot lately on the Back in Black tour. What a great lineup that was.
Yeah, wasn't it?
and I recall reading at some stage, mate, that when you recorded No Secrets, you'd only just found out that Bon had passed away. Is that right?
No, that happened later. 4 o'clock on a Thursday afternoon, I went into Paradise Studios to record She Keeps No Secrets. And everyone was glum as anything. And I said, what's happened? They said, we've just heard the news from London that Bon has died. So that was that was our fourth album, actually, on so Bebop. Yeah, that was from our first album to She Keeps No Secrets, which was off Darkroom. That was 4 albums.
So and just on the subject of Darkroom, mate, the reissue of that and a lot of the other stuff from that period has some great gems of things that people haven't heard, and maybe that's not so well known that the reissues that have come out are so good.
Well, I agree with you. I don't think a lot of people are even aware that stuff has been reissued, digitally remastered, like brought right up to date, and previously unreleased songs are on some of the reissues. So if people, some people say, are we going to release? Are we going to record some new songs? Well, at this point, I can think of probably about 7 or 8 that have been previously unreleased that are available now for people if they want to hear some fresh material from the band.
But like you say, that's what the exciting thing for me with the reissues. There was a lot of things in there that I haven't heard, which was great.
Yeah, and once again, I think they've stood the test of time. It's not like we've just dragged out some old record that didn't cut it at the time. Some of them, could easily have gone on any one of the albums from the past. For various reasons, they didn't get there, but they're still good songs, well recorded, well played, and could easily have taken a strong spot on the album.
Yeah, agree. I won't keep you much longer, mate, but I just wanted to digress for a minute, just when I've got the opportunity to ask you about your acoustic CD that came out a couple of years ago. I really love that record. It's there's a few things on there that I expected to be the way they are, I guess in a similar vein to the way the original Angels band approached the acoustic side of some Angels tunes, but some of the things you did there with a Tom Waitsy sort of feel or a honky-tonk piano sort of feel, it was a real proof that how those songs can translate so well.
Thanks very much for saying that. I'm actually going out on a tour in September to promote the album. It's been called Doc Neeson Acoustic or DNA, and I'll be taking out a whole band, and some of the songs, for example, I'm Never Going to See Your Face Again, which is a pretty raucous thing when we play live.
Okay, right. That's it. That's really interesting to as you wrote it that way, to how it actually became with the Angels.
Well, in some ways, you might say it's no big surprise that once you take a song into a rock band like ours, that it stands a chance of being given some pretty high voltage.
Good point. Oh well, I really look forward to that, mate. That'll be a real treat to see you doing that. I had the pleasure of seeing you do your show with those guys. Last year you did the Clipsal race in Adelaide, and that was. But to see the acoustic show, I will look forward to that indeed.
Yeah, and that'll have a bit of jug stuff in there as well. So there should be a very enjoyable evening in an acoustic way.
Fantastic.
I'm looking forward to doing it myself because it's such a, you just bring out different things in the songs, and it's great to see those songs have stood the test of time, and that they've also stood getting recorded that way, and still have kept the spirit of the song.
Well, it's been proved many times, and those tunes do prove it again that a rock and roll tune, well written, translates exceptionally well just on an acoustic guitar.
Yeah, well, I guess it's because of the strong songwriting, and a little while ago that John, Rick, and I, or under the heading of Brewster Neeson Brewster, we were inducted into the Australian Songwriters Music Hall of Fame. So that was a great honour.
Yes,
sir. I think one of the great strengths of our band has been in its songwriting. So, anyway, it's, electric or acoustic, they're good songs to do.
Oh, and I'm sure it's very exciting news for myself and my listeners that they will get to see you with the Angels again very soon on the 25th and 6th of July in Adelaide, and coming back again to do some acoustic shows later in the year. That's great news, Doc.
Yeah, we'll be in July at the Governor Hindmarsh, which is a great rock hotel, great rock venue. So right now we're just waiting to see what's going to be, what the fans are going to pick for us to play for them.
Wonderful. All right, mate, thank you so much for having a chat to me. I really appreciate your time.
Thanks for your time too.
Can you do a quick tag before we finish for my show, mate?
How do you want it to go?
My show is called Sitting in a Bar in Adelaide.
Sitting in a bar in Adelaide.
Yeah, so if you can do something along the lines of, this is Doc Neeson from the Angels and you're listening to blah, 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 that would be wonderful.
Yeah, I'm going to write it down. Stuff from the Angels, and then what do you want me to say?
And you're listening to Sitting in a Bar in Adelaide. You can say whatever you like.
I mean, you don't want a call sign or...
No, that's the name of the show. That's all I need.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready.
Yeah, I'm writing it.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Hi, this is Doc Neeson from the Angels. Excuse me. Take two. Hi, this is Doc Neeson from the Angels, and you're listening to Sitting in a Bar in Adelaide.
Thank you, mate. Fantastic. And as I said before, thank you so much for giving me some of your time. It's been a great pleasure to have a chat, and I look forward to seeing you with the Angels, and I am really looking forward to seeing the acoustic stuff come around in September.
Yeah, that'll be great fun. In the meantime, I'll see you at the Gov.
We will indeed. Cheers, mate.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Not sure I could get there.